When you look at a motorized screen, it's easy to see a heavy-duty window shade. But when the wind picks up, that massive 20-foot span of fabric behaves exactly like a giant sail. During a severe Florida storm, the aerodynamic drag captured by that mesh is immense. All that kinetic energy doesn't just vanish, it transfers directly into the tracks, the hardware, and the concrete of your patio. This is where homeowners often get caught. It's tempting to go with the lowest bid, treating the screen like a simple cosmetic upgrade, without asking how the system is actually engineered to handle that load. A few tears in the mesh are the best-case scenario. High winds can wrench entire assemblies right out of the concrete, destroying your patio and whatever is sitting on it. Worse, a detached track or heavy metal housing instantly breaks free and becomes highly dangerous, high-velocity wind-borne debris, turning a failed patio accessory into a serious threat to your home's windows and your neighbors. Even buyers who try to do their homework can end up with systems destined to fail. There are 5 specific technical oversights that routinely compromise these installations. We're going to walk through the physics and the building codes behind these failures. By the end, you'll know exactly what questions to ask and what specifications to demand before you sign a contract. Because skipping this research is the quickest way to turn a peaceful backyard upgrade into a significant financial and safety risk. The first major mistake is misinterpreting wind ratings and assuming every screen is a hurricane barrier. Many buyers demand a state-level impact approval for standard bug screens. Standard motorized screens are actually evaluated using static, uniform air pressure tests. This proves the frame won't rip off the house under a steady push, but it absolutely does not test for impact resistance. Under the Florida Building Code, standard retractable screens must be fully rolled up before winds hit 75 miles per hour. They are engineered on the strict assumption that the fabric will not be left down during a severe storm. This diagram shows the difference. If you want true Miami-Dade high-velocity hurricane zone protection, the system has to pass a heavy kinetic impact test, surviving a 9-pound 2x4 shot out of a cannon, which is an entirely different class of product. The second mistake happens mechanically, by choosing legacy rigid zipper tracks for large spans. When wind pushes against the broad surface area of the screen, the fabric bows out. If the side track is a fixed, rigid piece of metal, it has zero lateral give. All that aerodynamic force hits the zipper teeth, causing them to bind and rip right out of the seam. Modern engineering solves this using articulating tracks, specifically magnetic or continuous Keter retention systems. With a magnetic setup, the inner track can float slightly to absorb the energy. It yields so the fabric doesn't tear, and when the gust passes, the magnetic pull automatically reseats itself into a tight seal. But even the best track will fail if the contractor botches the concrete anchors. If wedge anchors are installed less than 7 inches apart, or too close to the edge of the pool deck, the stress cones inside the concrete overlap. Under peak tension, the concrete simply blows out. A screen system's survival entirely depends on its lateral flexibility and the structural integrity of its concrete foundation. Mistake number 3 is ignoring the aggressive, hyper-corrosive reality of Florida's coastlines. Salt mist travels miles inland, and it degrades cheap hardware fast. When installers drill standard stainless steel screws directly into bare aluminum, the salty air triggers rapid galvanic corrosion, eating away at the metal from the inside out. Furthermore, if the aluminum frame uses a standard powder coating, the intense UV radiation and airborne chlorides will cause the paint to chalk and fade within a year. As this chart shows, standard coatings fail early. The required specification here is ceramic-coated fasteners to stop the galvanic reaction, paired with an AAMA 2605 hyper-durable fluoropolymer finish to withstand thousands of hours of salt spray. Mistake number 4 is accepting a bid that uses standard, cheap-dipped fiberglass mesh. Traditional fiberglass is fine for a static window screen, but it lacks the tensile strength required for a 20-foot dynamic span. Rolling it up and down every day quickly leads to visible sagging, dangerous fabric tears, and permanent memory creases. To survive heavy tension and block no-seams, you need a heavy-duty polyester core yarn that is extrusion-coated in thick vinyl before it's woven. A tightly woven 20 by 20 polyester mesh won't stretch out and is virtually puncture-proof.
Choosing inferior chemical coatings and weak fiberglass mesh guarantees you will be paying for a complete system replacement in just a few short years. The final and potentially most dangerous oversight is mistake number 5, allowing unbonded electrical installations near wet environments. Under National Electrical Code Article 680, if the metal track or motor of your screen is installed within 5 feet of a swimming pool, it legally becomes part of the pool's structural perimeter. A short circuit establishes a lethal electrical gradient across wet concrete. A barefoot person touching the track completes the circuit. To neutralize this, code mandates equal-potential bonding, connecting the track to the pool's grid with a heavy 8WG copper wire and a GFCI circuit. There is also a mechanical trap here, relying exclusively on electrical power to operate the screen during severe weather. When a tropical storm rolls in, grid blackouts are common. A manual crank override is a critical safety feature, so you are never trapped behind a stuck screen with the wind picking up. Cutting corners on a total legal, financial, and physical liability directly onto the homeowner. Looking closely at these engineering requirements proves exactly why the cheapest contractor quote is usually a dangerous illusion. This is why Screen Factory Florida has established itself as the premium standard for this market. Their process starts from the ground up, demanding proper concrete footings, correctly spaced anchors, and strict adherence to structural requirements before any frame is erected. The proof of this engineering is in the real world. When Hurricane Milton hit, Screen Factory Florida enclosures successfully stood their ground while competitors failed. They back up these bills with a 365-day warranty and maintain a 4.8-star Better Business Bureau accreditation, ensuring serious consumer protection. There is a profound difference between the anxiety of riding out a storm, hoping your cheap patio materials hold together, and the peace of mind that comes from knowing your system was built to the code. If you're ready to do this right, click the link below to book a free measurement and 3D design consultation with their team. Investing in an engineered system upfront guarantees your backyard remains a safe, protected oasis, instead of a future liability.